Hey guys, good job. I was able to look at a lot of the things that you guys came up with on Schoology, and I'm not surprised. I was pretty confident in your abilities to figure out what this rule is right here. But if you take a look at 1 comma 2 becoming -1 comma -2, it looks like the numbers are staying where they were in the pre-image. It's just you're making them the opposite. All right, so 1 becomes -1 and 2 becomes -2. 1 became -1, 6 became -6, 8 became -8, 2 became -2. So good. We're going to write that down exactly the way that we just said it. The x stays in its place, the y stays in its place, and then we just take the opposite of whatever it is. Now the last question that I asked you on Schoology was to rotate a point that I think was in the second quadrant, and then when you rotate that 180 degrees, that would put it in the fourth quadrant. And that was a really important question because if you think that it's just make them negative, unfortunately that only works for a point that's in the first quadrant. So we really want to think of this not as -x, -y, but more as opposite x, opposite y. So if x is positive, make it negative. If x is negative, make it positive. Same thing over here. If y is negative, make it positive. If y is positive, make it negative. All right, so let's jump right into the very next rotation. We're going to do a 270-degree counterclockwise rotation. All right, let's set this up the same way we did last time. I'm going to put my wax paper right over that image, pre-image. I'm going to lock it in right there at the origin, and I'm going to start rotating. So there's my there's my 90-degree rotation. There is a 180-degree rotation. And if I can get my arm out of the way, here we go. As soon as I can get that ray right down here to land on the y-axis, that's going to be a perfect 270-degree rotation. And as I look at this, I have a pretty good idea of where it's supposed to be. All right, you can see the human error really is just I haven't put the origin right on top of the origin, so let me do that now. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so let me find these new coordinates. There's one right there. That's going to be A. This one right here is going to be B. And finally, this one down here is going to be where C lands. All right, this is what we would have done had we been in school. Connect these new coordinates together so that we can see where this new image is going to be. That looks pretty good. All right, this is where A landed, and this is where B landed, and this is where C landed. So you've probably picked up on the pattern now. But if A became A prime and then A double prime, you might guess that this one is going to become A triple prime. All right. Now, it's not that a 270-degree rotation is a triple prime. It's just that I'm trying to make this point different from the other ones. All right, and 3 is just the next one available. B right here, the next available one is triple prime, and then C over here, we'll call that C triple prime. All right. Very good. Now, one thing to point out is that I'm not going to cover clockwise rotations. All right, and the reason I'm not going to do clockwise rotations is because you already know the rules for those, and we'll make note of that as well. But you know, I decided that I was going to do a 270-degree counterclockwise rotation. But you may have said to yourself, wouldn't it be a lot easier to get to that same spot had I just done a 90-degree clockwise rotation. And if that thought went through your head, that's really good, because that's exactly what I wanted you to see. A 270 degree counterclockwise rotation has the same rule as a 90 degree clockwise rotation. So we'll make note of that on that notes page as well. Alright, let's find some coordinates. 1/2 and down 1. So this is going to be 2, -1. This is over 2 and probably down 8. Yep. 2, whoops, 2, and -8. And then this one is probably because I had a 6 in it, right? So it's over 6 and down 1. Let's just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 1. Yep. So that's going to be 6, -1. Okay, perfect. All right, let's organize that data over here. And I've already forgotten, so let's see if I can find them. A triple prime 2, -1. And B triple prime 6, -1. C triple prime 2, -8. All right, so once again, we're looking for this rule right here. We've already figured out what it is for a 90 degree counterclockwise and a 180 degree counterclockwise. Now we're going to try and figure out the rule, what the rule is right here, and it'll be different from these. All right, so once again, you're going to want to compare this coordinate right here, 1, 2, to this one, 2, -1. And then compare 1, 6 to 6, -1, and 8, 2 to 2, -8. Okay? The fact that these numbers are repeating, maybe in a different order, maybe with a different sign, that's not a coincidence. The same way it wasn't a coincidence in any of these other spots right here. So see if you can figure out that pattern and come up with that rule right there.